The veil thins, or perhaps it's not thinning at all, but tearing. A rent in the fabric of perceived reality, revealing the mechanism beneath, the gears and levers of existence usually hidden behind a meticulously crafted illusion. They call it apocalypse, a cataclysm, a finality. But the etymology whispers a different truth. Apocalypsis, a disclosure, an unveiling. What is being unveiled? Not the fiery end, but the architecture of deception itself. We live in an era of falsehood, a labyrinth of mirrors reflecting distorted images. Misconception reigns, a silent tyrant guiding our thoughts, shaping our actions, dictating our destinies. We are puppets dancing to a tune we cannot hear, shadows flickering on a wall, mistaking the fleeting for the eternal. We consume illusions, digest them, and excrete them back into the world, perpetuating the cycle of deceit. But the universe, in its infinite patience, offers correction, a chance to awaken. The apocalypse, then, is not a punishment, but a painful, necessary surgery to remove the cataracts from our collective eyes. Consider the fruit of life, the genesis of sacred geometry. Within its elegant structure lies the blueprint for everything. This first system begets the Platonic solids, the fundamental building blocks of the universe, each a perfect embodiment of mathematical harmony. Tetrahedron, cube, octahedron, icosahedron, dodecahedron, they are the alphabet of creation, the language spoken by light and matter. They nestle within the sphere, their edges kissing its surface in a sublime dance of proportion. But there is another system, a more subtle rhythm governing the cosmos, the golden ratio, phi 1.618, a number that whispers through the veins of reality, a constant found in the spiral of a seashell, the branching of a tree, the proportions of the human body. This second system dictates the relationships between vibration, sound, harmonics, the unseen orchestra that binds the universe together. It reveals how energy coalesces into form, how the invisible becomes tangible. And within these two systems lies a profound truth, the interconnectedness of all things. The Platonic solids, perfect in their individual forms, find their ultimate expression within the sphere. Yet there is one shape that transcends them all, a vessel capable of containing not only the solids in the sphere, but also the secrets of dimension itself, the cube. The cube, the father of forms, and the sphere, the nurturing mother, the square and the circle. These primal shapes are not merely geometric figures, but keys to understanding consciousness. Each represents a different lens through which spirit perceives reality, a different facet of the infinite diamond that is existence. Imagine a circle perfectly inscribed within a square. Now replicate this pattern, radiating outwards, each circle and square maintaining the same precise relationship, a sacred geometry of awareness. This is the diagram of consciousness. As we move outwards, the square begins to intersect the circles, creating areas of intersection where the relationship between the shapes begins to resonate with the phi ratio. The circle's circumference and the square's perimeter approach equality, a near-perfect approximation of the golden ratio. It's the Freemasons' compass and square, a symbol of the ongoing quest for balance and harmony. But it's only an approximation, a glimpse of the perfect ideal. The closer you zoom, the closer you start to seek the ultimate truth. Each level of this diagram represents a different state of consciousness, a different way of perceiving the world. Currently, we reside on the second level, the fifth square relative to the fifth circle. We are in disharmony, out of sync with the fundamental rhythms of the universe, but we are moving closer, slowly, inexorably, towards a state of greater alignment. There are levels outside the normal harmony of consciousness that act as bridges, connecting disparate realms of experience. These are the liminal spaces, the twilight zones, where the boundaries between realities blur. And it is precisely because we are nearing the end of our current level that everything feels like it is crashing down. The old structures are crumbling, the familiar landmarks are disappearing, leaving us adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Taking the square and rotating it, we find the key to transmuting ourselves to another state. When you cut away from the Great Pyramid at the King's Chamber and rotate it 90 degrees, the shape that emerges is a visual representation of the nature of our current level of consciousness. The Great Pyramid is a blueprint for a journey, an upward movement in consciousness for humanity. Consider Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, the embodiment of human potential. When we complete the grid he created, extending the lines to their logical conclusion, we find an 8/10 ratio measured in radii. The square is 8, the circle 10. This represents where we were. The second level, where we find ourselves now, has a 10/12 ratio. The third, often referred to as Christ consciousness, is 14/18, a progression, a spiral staircase leading upwards. Self-aware human consciousness emerged when the fourth square interacted with the fifth circle. The fruit of life, the very essence of creation, is precisely superimposed upon this shape, confirming that consciousness itself is an integral part of the sacred pattern. Vitruvius' drawing of man's consciousness perfectly embodies the proportions for the Merkaba, the mystical vehicle of the soul. And when we draw a diamond, it contains the man from head to feet, the same exact proportions as found in the Great Pyramid. The apocalypse, then, is not an ending, but a transition, a painful, turbulent shift from one level of consciousness to another. It is the dismantling of the old, the revelation of the hidden, and the forging of a new reality. It is the unveiling of truth in an era of falsehood, a necessary step towards a more harmonious existence. Are we ready to see? Are we ready to embrace the chaos and emerge, transformed, on the other side? The universe waits.